first row. Benjamin Stark dead. Well, that would be telling. John doesn't know. Why should you? You'll have to keep reading to find out the answer to that one. I will answer it, but in the books, not here in Portugal. Yes, against the wall there. I wrote episode 9 of the second season, Blackwater, the big battle. So that should be one of the most expensive battles ever seen on television. Especially if they film it the way I write it. I think they're going to probably take out some of the stuff that I put in, just because we got, I mean, that battle is a nightmare for any producer. We got chains, we got a sea battle, we got a land battle, we got horses, we got fire, we got giant trebuchets throwing screaming men across the river. It would cost as much as a battle of Pelham or Field if they film it that way, but it should be great. However, whatever they cut, we have a great director on that, Neil Marshall, who's a feature film director. I don't know if you've seen his work here in Portugal. He's British, but he directed The Descent, which I think is a wonderful horror movie. He directed Centurion, a really great action movie about the Romans in Britain and so forth. Yes. Should I've known the date of the next book, The Fatal Question. No, when it's done. When it's done, I will turn it in and then it will be published. I make no promises beyond that. So I'm going to stop with the questions here, and sorry. Oh, all right, you. Last one here. There are 7, yeah.
Is that your fault or your parents?
We share responsibility. Also, some new characters are pushed in who I didn't originally plan for, and said, you have to write about me too, I'm important. But the tale grew into telling. 3 books or 7 books, it's really one book. It's one really, really, really big book. And maybe when it's done, just like now, people are issuing Lord of the Rings, all 3 volumes in one. Maybe when it's done, everyone will publish the entire volume in one massive leather-bound book. That would be really, really big. That I wouldn't hold my breath. But it is one story. It's got a beginning, a middle, and end, and however many books it's divided up into, it's still a Song of Ice and Fire, which is Tolkien's Lord of the Rings. All right, I'm going to stop with the questions and start signing here. Let me lay down a few rules and thoughts, and then I'll give it over to you. First off, you can, those of you who didn't get to ask your questions, you can ask me questions when you come up to the table. But we're not going to have much time together, much as I would like to develop long and meaningful relationships with many of you nice people, particularly the cute ones. We don't have the time for that. We just have minutes. So if you come up to me and say, may I ask you a question? The answer is yes, but you've used your question. That was your question. So don't come up and say, may I ask you a question? Just come up and ask a question while I'm signing your books. Because of the size of the crowd, and I really hate saying this, I hope you guys will understand, I'm not going to be able to do personal dedications or inscriptions. That makes every signature take 3 times as long, and the people in the back of the line will be having children and growing old by the time we're done, if that happens. Not to mention I will be dead. So I will sign 2 books for each of you, and only signatures. So we have to keep the line moving quickly. You can take photographs of me. You don't have to come up and say, can I take a photograph? Yes, you can take a photograph. But I can't stop the line to pose for photographs. So just have the camera ready when you're up, and have some friend or the next person in line who actually knows how to work the camera preferably. And when you get up, they can take a picture. But can't do where you come behind the line and I pose and we smile, because again, that slows things down, and we'd like to get out of here before tomorrow and so forth. So I don't know exactly what order. We can't have you all rushing the stage at once, but